How's it going again, everyone? King Blacktooth here with more Gwent. So what we're going to do today is that I've seen a lot of people, I mentioned it in the previous video, a lot of people are building monster deck decks, and they're mostly revolving around frost and fog and so many weather effects. You know, you've got the Dagon leader card and stuff. And what I really want to do, a lot of people are also building counters. I'm basically just talking about the meta game so far. Now I know it's super early, but we can see what people are looking for, and I do think just on first glances of what the cards we've got available to us now, the monster deck, the monster weather deck, is very powerful. It seems powerful. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through some draw phases. I've built a monster deck based on one of the most popular ones in the Gwent database so far. And I'm going to do some draws. I'm going to see how much strength I actually get, because there's a lot of weather cards in there and that might be actually not very good. So I've put the deck into cockatrice. So these have 3 white frosts, 2 impenetrable fogs and 2 biting frosts. There's 7 special cards, all related to weather effects. To be honest, it might be worth putting a Commander's Horn in there somewhere. We have Dandelion, but you know, the odds of getting him are like 1 in 28 or something, so yeah. But yeah, we've got other cards which can do the things like this guy, and Triss, Butterfly Spell will do a fog. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some draws, which I did like I did last time, and we're going to analyze, see what kind of a hand we've got, whether we're going to get too many weather effects to actually be useful and too many of everything else. And I think it'll be really effective. So a lot of people are trying to counter these particular decks as well, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. Let me just go through this. So we've got a White Frost, which is useful. We've got Triss for the fog. We've got another fog, and we've got another fog, so I'm going to get rid of one of those if I can. We've got a lot of nice stuff there. So we've got no frost, because this guy is no longer frost anymore, right? He's not a frost. So we've got no frost, but all our cards are actually frost buffing. We've got no we've got no fog buffing ones. So okay, let's get rid of probably, I would say, 2 fogs there. If it was me, I would get rid of both of those fogs, because we've got 2. We've also got Dagon, the leader card. I haven't put him in because I just have to take him out all the time, but don't forget he will play a weather effect as well, and he spawns it, so we do actually have a frost. I keep forgetting about him. So draw 2 cards. We've got another White Frost, which is good. That's a frost as well, isn't it? And that one. So we've got 2 frosts. With the Dagon, we've got 3 frosts, 4, 5 impenetrable fogs. But again, yeah, we don't need that many. Fucking hell. This might just be a really bad hand, but I'm not actually getting many units. Ancient Foglet. Right, that's good. So let's say, for example, this is how it worked, right? We'd say, okay, I want a fog, so we put down her. I've got 11 strength, and the foglets would all come out because they're cool. Okay, and they get buffed to 2. So on this row, I've got 11, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There we go. 17. What was I talking about? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. What did I say? I don't know. Whatever. So there you go. We've got some nice strength there. We've got this guy down as well. He's going to bring out all the other ancient foglets. Like that. And these are going to get bumped up to 3, 6, 9, and then double that to 18 because the fog. But they've got decent strength there. We've got about 36 or something. Reasonably good. We're definitely going to get a frost on the board. So all these guys are going to... So I feel like this is going to actually be a good hand. All these guys get doubled. He's going to bring out these guys too. So it looked like a pretty bad hand, but I think it's actually quite good. Now he affects Wild Hunt cards. Not sure. I don't think any of these are Wild Hunt. Oh, Wild Hunt Warrior. Rider, sorry. Wild Hunt Warrior. So they would get doubled. Wow. That's powerful. But before we do that, he plays a Wild Hunt Warrior from my deck. So this is so strong. This particular hand was so strong. Let's play this Katakan too. He's going to draw me a card. Wild Hunt Warrior. Damn, son, I pretty much pulled my entire deck in this one. You know, we've got another 2 spare weather effects. We've got the leader card too. So if they get rid of one, we can bump it again. But damn, these guys, I mean, he's going to double it. That is so powerful. Because these are going to be 6, 12, 18. Right? Times 2 is 36. But then times that by 2 because where is it? This guy is going to double it, isn't he? So times 36 by 2, that's going to be 72 strength. And I've only actually, fucking hell, I've only done these 3 guys yet because now there's 6 of them. Highly scorchable though, so there you go. It's not as powerful as you might think. These don't come back onto the board in any sense, so a Scorch would deal with 72 strength there. I don't feel like there's a way to protect them because they're so high in number and all the same. Yeah, oh, he might do it actually. Each one of these is 12 strength, and he is 16 strength, so he would actually protect. Oh my fucking god! This Ice Giant is going to protect all these. If you've only got 1 Scorch, you're a bit screwed. He would also protect as well. Damn! Oh no, when he's only 2 strengths. He doesn't exist. Okay, so that's good. Ice Giant is very effective. He's going to protect them from 1 Scorch. But damn, that's loads of strength. That is a pretty good hand, man. Let's redo it again because that was really fun. I enjoyed that one. And it's telling me a lot about the deck. So far, that was a really good hand. We've had a bad hand. We've had good hands. That was a really good one. Let's see. Right, Wild Hunt Warrior, White Frost. Loads of cool stuff here. This is actually popping up to be quite a good one. Actually. Quite a good hand here. Wild Hunt Warrior. So everything's fine. Let's pop our Katakan out and draw a card. Okay. We've got 1 there. I think I maybe should have got rid of a couple more of these because I've got too many. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Biting Frost and 1, 2, 3, 4 Impenetrable Fogs. But I should have got rid of some of there. But I know it's a bit late to do now. I'm not doing it in order. But let's get rid of 2 Biting Frosts. Ancient Foglet is bad. And Wild Hunt Rider is also bad. Okay, because we've already got them. So it's duplicate cards. So we didn't have a great deck. This time we haven't got many cards. Let's just see how many kind of get pulled out. All the Foglets would get pulled out, wouldn't they? All the Ancient Foglets would get pulled out as well. All the Wild Hunt Riders would get pulled out. So it doesn't look like it's a good hand, but it's actually a pretty good hand. Which is very interesting. Okay, we got a nice 6 there. Yeah, so that's pretty good strength. I think the way that you're going to win against monsters is to... Because as you can see, I only had 1 card advantage, and that was this Spy. I do have another Spy in my deck, or in this deck. But the way you're going to win is not to try and out-weather them, out-clear weather them. What you want to do is try and wait for them to pass. Because, you know, if they're weathering your side too, you can start putting loads of zeros that are only 1 strength and such. A very good tactic that I've seen some people try and employ, they don't stick too many epidemics in though, is that they weather effect, and then if you keep putting cards into the weather effect, there'll only be 1 or 2 strength if your commanders horn them, but then they can just epidemic all of them. But I guess the way you protect against that is to have a cow or a 0 strength healer or something like that. But yeah, so this is reasonable. You want to wait till they pass before you can try and play clear weather. It might not be easy though. But don't forget, I only played 1, 2, 3, 4 cards here. You know, to get this on the board, I only played 4 cards. Oh, and some weather effects too. So you have to work that out. Whether that's a good idea, whether it's easy. It should be easy. In my Skellige deck, I had about 3 card advantage, so I should be able to out mulligan them or whatever. Let's do another one. Wild Hunt Riders, we got that guy we don't want. Reasonable, reasonable. We've got a White Frost, so maybe we can get rid of... Let's just see what happens with this guy first. I think you can do it each individually, which is really nice. Katakan, really good. So I've got my leader card and I've got my White Frost. I've got an Impenetrable Fog and a Biting Frost. And that's it. he'll do Biting Frost. So we will get rid of that Biting Frost. There we go. We got him, that's good. We've got this guy too, so I am going to get rid of this Impenetrable Fog. Because now we've got, with the White Frost and the leader card, and this guy, we've got 3 Biting Frosts. With the White Frost and the leader card, and this guy, we've got the potential of 3 Impenetrable Fogs. So that's the way you're going to think. Okay, so that was probably a bad card, I don't know. But let's get the Katakan out, and we'll draw a card. We're not going to count that. The reason being is that I would never play the Katakan before getting the fog out, so these should already be on the board or in the graveyard by then. So that doesn't count. I just want to do it quick. Another one, very nice. So let's pull another one out. White Frost. Okay, so how many cards do we actually have now on the board? So, because it looks like a terrible hand. If you just look at the hand, we've got Zoltan, this guy, you know, a reasonable hand actually, now I mention it. But there's a lot more cards that are going to be coming out. The Foglets, 3 Wild Hunt Riders. He's going to spawn some wolves, yep, Wild Hunt Hounds. So, reasonable. Now, one thing that a lot of people have been doing, I'm going to try and talk while I'm doing this, is they've been trying to counter this particular monster deck. And what they've done is they've took loads of Clear Weathers, loads of things that get rid of Fog and Frost, like Geralt Igni and stuff, and they're really just trying to counter this deck in particular. But the reason that won't work is because you don't know what kind of deck you're going to fight when you make your deck. You can't rely on the fact that it's going to be a monster player with this deck, unless the meta change is so much that loads and loads of monster players turn up and it's better odds to build a deck like that than not to. Because if you face a Square Tail or a Skellige deck, then, and they don't play many weather cards, then all your Clear Weathers and stuff are going to be useless, aren't they? So this guy doesn't do Frost anymore. But really, you have to kind of be careful. We've got 2 of these guys. So what I'm going to do, I think that's fine actually. I think that's a good deck. Let's draw 2 cards from these guys. That doesn't count because I wouldn't have put them out beforehand. I mean, that might not count either. I might have played my Wild Hunt Warrior before the thing. So there you go. So that's really powerful. This is a really powerful hand. But I might have played him before I did my spies, because you won't play your spies at the beginning of the game anymore, because it's not about that. Especially these ones, they need something in the graveyard, so it'll probably be something like turn 2 or 3, and then even then you'll do it either when it's opportune to stop them resurrecting, or you'll do it at the end of the turn to try and make them pass. So I think I'm not going to count that guy either, because I've got 3 in my hand now. See? So I would have had 1 or 2 in my hand. Then I would have used him to pull out the 3rd one, so I might have drawn, he wouldn't count either. He would have been on the board, so that would have been good. So this is a really strong hand, actually. I think this is probably, I would have pulled most of the things out of my deck in this hand. I know that you may sound like I'm cheating, but I'm not, honest. This is exactly what I would have got onto the board. I would have got all this crap on the board. So powerful. Look at that, that's pretty much my whole deck. And then I would double the Wild Hunt Riders, and we'll have a couple of extra tokens. Wild Hunt, where are they? These guys. Oh my god, this is stacking up to be like the other one where I get, these guys alone would get like 90 something strength, because I would double it with this guy. These guys alone would be 6. Oh, are they 6? Yep. If I just pump out the old calculator here, 36, but then I've got to times that by 2 because there's more. So that's 72 strength just there. These guys are going to be 3, no, actually 6 times 2. No, that's not right. 6 times 3, 18, then times that by 2 because they get double from this guy. 36 strength, so I'm already over 140. And I have some reasonable amount of fog left. The thing about this hand is those Wild Hunt Warriors are extremely scorchable. So a Geralt Igni would get rid of all of these. That's why I think Geralt Igni is so powerful. You're going to be using him a lot. Everyone, I think, is taking Geralt Igni. They'll get rid of all 6 of those. It will get rid of the Frost. So these would go back down to 18 strength. So you're really devastated, really devastated there. They don't have any graveyard mustering ability. They haven't stuck any frost-bound units like these foglets, so they could keep coming back from the graveyard. So I think they've got some though. They definitely probably will have some. So, you know, I could counter pretty much most of that strength with a Geralt Igni or a Scorch and a Clear Weather. So a lot of people's decks seem to be very melee orientated. I know my Skellige one is, but that might just be because the lack of cards we've got so far, that there's not many siege options for people. So Geralt Igni, as a result, is so powerful at the moment because he gets rid of Frost, which is generally what they care about, and it gets rid of a massive powerhouse, like you saw with those Wild Hunt Warriors that turned out to be 72 strength with that guy out. So it's all about card advantage against monsters, I feel. He had 2 card advantage there because you get to use 2 spies, but you might be able to decoy them up. He doesn't have any decoys in his deck because he really wants all these weather effects. So this is, I mean, you may change the deck. You may decide, I want a decoy in there to get some extra card advantage, but there's not really any point unless you've got that that dragon that can scorch the opponent's siege. But again, not many people are building siege decks because we haven't got the cards for it yet. Skellige had almost the cards, but they were missing a couple of things. I think a lot of people are trying to make thin decks. That seems to be the way it's going. Very small, thin decks. I've had a couple of bad draws with the monster deck hands, but a lot of them seem reasonable. Because even though it doesn't look like you've got a lot, you end up having a lot. So, really good there. Now, I did mention before, I'm going to recap, that a lot of people are trying to counter this deck. And I think all you need to do, you don't need to go crazy with Clear Weathers. You just need to try and make them pass. It might be easier said than done, but you can't afford, you can't guarantee that you're going to fight monsters with this particular deck. So you can't build a deck around this, I think, because then it would be terrible against other decks, in my opinion. Unless you're using certain cards, and I think that's what I'm about to come on to now, is that certain cards are really effective. So instead of building a deck around trying to beat this with Clear Weathers and all that stuff, just take, you know, Triss, Mistress of Magic, take Geralt Igni, and I think a lot of decks are going to use those choice cards. Choice cards seem to be very strong at the moment, because they give you a bit of strength. Geralt Igni gives you 10, which is loads, and they also do some nice effect. Geralt Igni being the strongest, I think most decks will probably take him, because he's so powerful. Obviously this monster deck one won't, because they don't want to get rid of their own Frost. But so one other thing that a lot of people are not accounting for is that will you have the cards? Obviously you still have to buy the cards in this game. You're going to get a basic deck for all the decks, I assume. You might be able to quickly get some from playing through single player, get some currency, buy some card packs and stuff. And some people will buy loads and loads and loads of card packs at the beginning of the game and get all the cards, and then, you know, they can do any strategy they want. But what cards are going to be basic? I mean, Nithral might not be a card you're going to get. Caranthir, the one that duplicates all Wild Hunt cards, he's probably not going to be in the basic deck. I'm not sure if White Frost will be. All the other weather effects, your Scorches, your Decoys, they'll be basic. Your Foglets, your Ancient Foglets, your Wild Hunt Riders, I imagine these will be basically in the deck. But I'm not sure about White Frost. You might get one. Your Catachan and your Frightener, you might not get those basically in your basic deck. So you would have to RNG them through card packs. You know, you've got a lot of heroes that we're using. Geralt Igni, I keep saying, oh, he's going to be really good. But if you don't have him, you can't use him. So he might be a basic one, though. Basic hero to choose. They are going to give you some heroes. And Geralt Igni seems so strong and he seems so generic. That generic in the terms of it's Geralt. You know, they're going to give you a Geralt, I think. They might give you a Triss. They might give you, you know. So you have to take that into account. We're building loads of really cool decks, but people aren't going to be able to play them when the game releases. So thanks for watching, guys. That's the end of this video, and feel free to follow and all that other crap. Take care, guys. See you next time.